We begin in Sri Lanka, where the economic mismanagement is threatening the political stability of Rajapaksa government. Sri Lanka's entire cabinet has resigned from their posts. This is except the president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and his sibling Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. Amid the most painful economic downturn, the ruling political clan is struggling to resolve the crisis. Aside from the Rajapaksa brothers, all 26 ministers in the cabinet have submitted letters of resignation at a late-night meeting. Legal experts say that for the resignations to be effective, they should be submitted with the president. But here, the ministers have tendered the resignations to the Prime Minister. As Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa remains in power, the move only clears the way for the president to appoint a new cabinet today. Amid a growing parliamentary pressure against the Rajapaksa family, a government official had earlier denied reports that Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa may step down. A critical lack of foreign currency has left Sri Lanka struggling to service its $51 billion foreign debt. The crisis has also left the import-dependent country unable to pay even for essentials. In recent days, diesel shortages have sparked outrage across Sri Lanka. Let's keep this conversation going. For more updates on this story, our correspondent Dasuni Ahauda and Dr. Aruna Kulatunga, political analyst and former advisor to the Ministry of Primary Industries, are both joining us live from Colombo. Thank you both for joining us at this hour. Dasuni, I'll begin with you. Can you begin by bringing us up to speed with what has happened so far?
Yes, interestingly, it has been quite the tumultuous 72 hours here in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was first put under emergency law, then we just ended our island-wide curfew this morning, and the government has put in strict measures to prevent people from public assembly. Nevertheless, people continued to protest, which led the government last night, or the cabinet of ministers last night, to tender in their resignations. However, people have been quick, especially legal experts, have been quick to point out that the manner in which this resignation was done does not have any legal effect as per Article 47, subsection 2, subsection B of the Sri Lankan Constitution. That's not all. As of right now, we do see MPs within the government sort of starting to voice their protest as people have directed their anger towards them. And in your latest update, we have MP Nimal Lanza, who also represents the Sri Lanka Podu Jana Peramuna, which is the leading party that is led by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa as well as President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, who has said that if the government decides to continue ignoring the people's dissent and displeasure, that 50 MPs will remain independent in Parliament. Now, 50 MPs from the majority SLPP ruling party, and that they will ensure and work towards ensuring that the government will lose its majority in Parliament, which is kind of big news.
Dasuni, do we have any information or details from the President and the Prime Minister's office as of now?
No, actually, also interestingly enough, we are yet to receive some form of formal clarification from the President's office on the current situation in the country. And the last official message or the notice that we received from either the President or the Prime Minister was in the evening hours last night, where the Prime Minister's office vehemently denied certain media reports stating that the Prime Minister will be resigning or vacating his post.
Dasuni Ahauda, thank you very much for that update and for that information. Dr. Aruna, coming to you, is this a sign that the end of an era is coming for the Rajapaksa regime?
Definitely, there will be, I would say, a regime change that has to come. And as your correspondent very rightly pointed out right now, however, what they're trying to do is very unclear in terms of, I mean, all the cabinet ministers were appointed by the president, and therefore they have to tender their resignation to the president. But what they did last night was simply probably a move just to divert attention a little bit away from what's going on. And that's not going to work out, because I believe even today there will be massive demonstrations in Colombo, and these demonstrations will continue until such time there's some clarity as to what is going to happen. There's no clarity at all at the moment. The government is running here and there. They seems to be lost in sense of political direction at the moment. There has to be a change. If there's no change, we will be in very deep trouble.
When the public turns on you, why can't you as a leader take the honorable thing and step aside? What is stopping the Rajapaksa government from doing just that and quell the anger and even let someone save the country?
There are two issues here. One is the inability of the Rajapaksa family as a family in total. Other than, I mean, there has been some tweets that are coming from one of the family members, Namal Rajapaksa, indicating that he's willing to resign, and he did resign in a sense. However, my personal opinion on this, that these are simply PR moves, and the family as a whole is not ready to give up at the moment. However, having said that, the other side of the coin is who's going to take over? What is next? Who's willing to be, to lead the country in this moment where it's going to be absolutely difficult for in any incoming government to run the country. So there are two sides of this as well. In my opinion, I think the president should continue. All the parties have to get together and support whatever that is doing. And the idea there is that, look, let's have a longer term.
All right, so this is the current situation in Sri Lanka. 26 cabinet ministers, apart from the president and the prime minister, have resigned from their posts, and the economic crisis in Sri Lanka is deepening by the day. So we are still waiting for a compromise from the government on how they're going to handle this situation and how they're going to handle this crisis going forward. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.